previous game on Tuesday was balanced. Came the rotations with the anchor to back game, scoring 9. Reminder, she's the first player in a triple-double against the Chicago, because she's about to go to work. That previous game on Tuesday is wnbahighlightstoday against Natasha Howard, and another. Much like Tuesday, Atlanta off. Back to Natasha Howard, 3 on the shot clock. Bree Jones just going. Brittany Griner will line it up as well.
Howard picks up the offensive foul. And they had a
was efficiency and discipline. A lot of those get it off. That'll be a turnover for Young, right?
She's tough.
At South Carolina as Alicia Gray. 5 seconds on the shot clock. WNBA all-time scoring list. Passing it back out to Pow Pow. Pow Pow going to the rim.
First few games of the season,
I would say. Being able to go off the deck is very important.
Points in her scores.
Atlanta. Boston would come out. She's picked up an
favor because they need Aaliyah Boston in there to battle.
Tapping it out top. Sends it to Lynn. Bree Jones going at Demir's Don to Maya Caldwell.
Over and over and over again.
Not just a court design, though, you're seeing here in today's game.
I mean, and so showing
that attention, it is bold, it is fierce.
See the court and see the excitement around this
girls club, and I just love the all beat well on social media as well.
Points for Atlanta tonight.
Yeah, they just can't find the bottom of the hole. Was a player who was fierce, and she was.
That's her MO, as Bree Jones was
this game from 3, but she can knock it down. Her team.
Lexi with 5
offensively,
pushing the pace, finding Bree Jones,
because when you're a post player and your whole post players to catch.
That's one thing, just understanding when and where preseason game.
Yeah, she's gonna have to be faster paced, tougher, more physical.
Corner. Sophie Cunningham comes in. Indiana just 1 for 4.
Talked about this last game, and
throw line connects on a lot of minutes, but in the previous game again, Bree Jones did it last game. Quarter. For Atlanta, 5 turnovers and a shot clock. Oh, competitive. Now switching up Shatori Walker. Their hold for the last shot over. Cunningham. It always brings out the best.
People might read into the chippiness
minute mark, but it's
on her as well. But I think it's affecting.
1 possession game, just down at 3. Pansy with Alicia.
She has it.
Yeah, Alicia Gray was one of the. This again hits the mark. So we are all tied. Steph White, whatever she said, they have
that arm.
7 points for Atlanta as the Indiana gets the ball back. They can extend. Dantas from the same. Sophie Cunningham to work with, in and out.
The double team a few times last game. Those chippies underneath the rim.
3, long heave.
Anything off.
Kelsey Mitch.
Down 8 to Atlanta.
For this moment, and when I asked him I wanted to hear what they had to say, and right away,
different dynamic to this team.
The free agency in the offseason, under 11 points.
The block.
The huge impact for Indiana.
I'm gonna try to get Gray going.
Kelsey Mitchell, long. Griner looking to create some space.
And a lot of the times when you're the defender, you get him.
Kelsey Mitchell mentioned about the adjustments that take her off the block, but
too, that's something they both worked on in the offseason.
Atlanta's 19 points. It's different to see Caitlin Clark, who's
the first quarter. We didn't hear a lot of whistles at
dead ball. Boston to Bree Jones, lines it up.
Down that 3 ball.
Indiana comes back. Kelsey Mitchell. Something that Caitlin Clark mentioned in the last game. The dump pass on the inside finds DB on the block. Just the first turnovers up baseline. Good to go.
She got pow on her feet. She just hesitated.
And Ryan Howard trying to return the favor. The aggressor is going their lulls on both sides, but what they made on the defensive end, especially
about just the mentality and mindset that those two.
For the Fever, Bree Jones.
The Atlanta Dream. Pow.
Conversation with
Alicia Gray for Atlanta with 3 fouls.
Season with back-to-back double-doubles.
Side.
Natasha Howard onto the Indiana Fever. We've seen of the bench. Atlanta.
Shot clock as Howard slips through and Kate scores back-to-back.
Easy dish on the inside. Onto this game, 1 for 4. Comes the Jets. Buckets for Indiana. Naz Hillman.
To Naz Hillman. There's Dantas.
Sorry about that tab, less than a minute. And an offensive arc. Aaliyah Boston with 3 as well. After Howard pulls up, triple. Physical this game has been. It's something that's a team. I got to create ways to get my Caitlin Clark.
For credit, Atlanta's defense.
Pow will have to send it from almost with the 3 fouls as Natasha Howard.
Depth at this Indiana team, and Atlanta
For bench points, 15 to
6 points. That first half, the second half a little bit smooth.
Big news here as Caitlin Clark with Steph
Should call the game there, have a tough job, and
you asked for pace and low first quarter. She did. Pounding Atlanta by 3.
They're leading the scoring for the Fever.
Far for Natasha Howard in this third.
Straight up, but she slightly came down, and that's
hole. Atlanta trying to find their way back. Natasha Howard.
South Carolina to South Carolina.
Kelsey Mitchell. A little two-man
Mate's head, and that's the kind of defense that can
go. Atlanta actually with the win on 2. Behind the back and just shooting up the floor. Tahina Pow again.
So says Tahina is not afraid to move to South Carolina, so there's familiar. In Canada saying she's been walking her throughout this.
Been by committee as Kelsey Mitchell.
believe that she went in the second round.
Also for Atlanta looking to inch and 10th and 3s made.
Aaron, in the moment, it might seem like you're not
allowing the dribbler. Sophie Cunningham outside finds Mitchell. Eye off the bounce, is able to get to the
contact. When you're in basketball, this is a contact.
Indiana with hole in the pull.
She's known for her shot blocking ability.
Shadia lines it up.
That we talked about her shooting last season and how
who would have thought Atlanta 5? Who had that on the bingo card? Backdoor, more movement
down there. They got to get her a little bit more.
Another offense have to allow the guard in the post
course of action.
Caitlin Clark. B got the angle and the
when you go to the rim, Howard. So I like that she's made this
3 fouls on wnbahighlightstoday. Clark found a sleep. Caldwell dish underneath and knocks Hill. Seconds left. Sid Colson finding Clark.
In this game. Both sides.
G on the bench right now at 5.
And a halftime. They are sitting at 11. So that's exactly what they have to do. They've got to put. Ryan Howard wants these things to try to win this game.
Dewana Bonner, quarter 3.
Had 0 last game. This is
winning Nia Coffey. Caitlin Clark finding a way to.
Should be, but Howard, Caitlin, she's staying in this game for her team.
Team double-doubles, 3 triple with 8 rebounds now, and just biggest lead for Atlanta. Sure, no one slides over to guard on the floor right now for Atlanta. She has 5. Gray had all the time she needed.
Defender in the dust.
Taking on the committee, pull up.
Backdoor cuts, it is there. And
that's why I'm up here. Since the middle of that third quarter, when she got
Ryan Howard.
How did he know how to pick sides?
I don't know. Touch going at Natasha Howard. Gets the backdoor.
Game 3.
Ryan Howard has been more aggressive. 5th foul, rather, on Lexi Hull. Howard was able to. Kelsey Mitchell. It's the contact. Season, they dropped that one. Close game. It actually came down to see a kick out. Natasha Howard had
out, but long shots, long rebounds. Being intentional about 5-on-4, 5-on-3. You've got
3 attempts. And he gets that. Kelsey lines it up.
This game with their shots. She remembers that sweep from last season.
Howard coming back, trying to get the fake.
She's talking trash to her own teammates.
For Ryan Howard sitting at 23. Natasha Howard back it as well. This a 1-point game and 10 seconds on the shot.
You just a little bit.
It's okay.
I was looking at the bottom. Here comes that Georgia Tech math.
There it is, yellow tie.
A little bit taken back by that shot. And
0 for 4 from outside.
Shout out to the Atlanta fans. I know our fan free throw line. I got more boos.
We can't win, can we?
0 for 5 from 3 in this game. And who has fouls on the floor?
Double figures for Atlanta, but has been flipped. Denied by Nia Coffey. Finds the hands of Natasha Howard. Nia Coffey left alone. High arc for Atlanta. Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hull. Kelsey lines it up. Her first, Ryan Howard. Now 4 fouls.
I think the crowd is.
Caitlin Clark missing. Can New York go back-to-back? So a foul, they went
arm. And remember,
foul. Leah Boston with forward can tie it up and not settling top. Up finds Aaliyah Boston, making her. She was disappointed in the
low points, but they can't be that low.
Tahina Pap
definitely need a quick score here.
Way up the floor.
Aggressive enough. And
Atlanta led by 9. A couple of crazy things in that next game. Inbounds finds Gray. Atlanta will drop to 1 and 2, and it
just cleaned up some things that they wanted to clean up. 5. That shows you the depth that this Indiana team and Atlanta.
Kelsey Mitchell, a little two-man
over the top of her teammate's head, and that's the kind of defense that
swept Atlanta just a season ago. Atlanta actually with the win on 2. Ryan Howard behind the back and just short. Sending it up the floor. Tahina Pau again.
Breeze for Tahina Pau. Carl Smesco says Tahina is not afraid of the ball. During my time at Oregon before I went over to South Carolina, so there's familiar your decisions. She's been leaning on Jordan Canada, saying she's been walking her throughout this.
Off the BG bucket. It's been by committee as Kelsey Mitchell.
Atlanta to get her in the second round. I couldn't believe that she went in the second round championship run.
And what a big boost also for Atlanta. They were 11th in three-point percentage and 10th in threes made.
You cannot do that. You've got to be stationary. And in the moment, it might seem like you're not.
As well, because we saw it a few times, just allowing the dribbler. Turnover for Nia Coffey. Sophie Cunningham outside. Oh, behind the back. She has the numbers. Finds Mitchell. Right off the bounce, is able to get to the
small fouls in there, but it's not enough contact. When you're in basketball, this is a contact.
3 minutes left in the third quarter. Indiana with hole in the pull-up
against Indiana Tuesday in their house, and she's known for her shot blocking ability.
Nia lines it up. Bottom.
The floor, Nia Coffey can do just that. We talked about her shooting last season and how good at both ends for the Dream.
Who would have thought Atlanta with 8 threes, Indiana with 5. Who had that on the bingo card?
Stretch the floor. I'll call that for Atlanta.
Backdoor, more movement.
Not allowing her to be comfortable down there. They got to get her a little bit more.
Corral it back in. Another offense out of it, and once again, you have to allow the guard in the post.
They have to have the chance to correct their course of action.
Caitlin Clark
respond.
It's Ryan Howard going at DB. Got the angle and the
step for Ryan Howard is being more intentional when you go to the rim, and that's going to be the next level for Ryan Howard. So I like that she's made this.
If she now has 15. 3 fouls on DeWanna Bonner. Clark found
Atlanta's defense falling asleep.
2-for-1 opportunity. Caldwell dish underneath, and Naz Hillman.
This to Naz Hillman.
10 seconds left. Sid Colson finding Clark. Picks up her third.
Everybody in foul trouble in this game. Both sides.
Big lineup with 3 or more fouls. BG on the bench right now is 5.
They had 2 fast break points going into halftime. They are sitting at 11, pushing the pace and getting 2 feet in the rim. So that's exactly what they have to do. They've got to put the... Ryan Howard wants this. That CC is going to try to do some miraculous things to try to win this game.
Saw the deny. DeWanna Bonner, corner 3.
And she's sitting at 1 point, had 0 last game. This is
the air. Finding Nia Coffey. Ryan Howard, Caitlin Clark finding a way to...
Like Ryan Howard is in her face as she should be, but Howard, I love the creativity and I love how mentally she's staying in this game for her team.
Last year had 14 double-doubles, 3 triple. DeWanna Bonner with 8 rebounds now and just can't. Biggest lead for Indiana was 8. Biggest lead for Atlanta. A lot of pressure. No one slides over to guard. On the other side, Brittany Griner not on the floor right now for Atlanta. She has 5 for Atlanta. Backdoor. Gray had all the time she needed.
Or leaving her defender in the dust.
Gray taking on the committee. Pull up.
Mesco said, look for those backdoor cuts. It is there. And if
in Indiana's heads.
Accurate.
That's why I'm up here. This few minutes has been sitting at 21 since the middle of that third quarter.
She got 18 from the field with 21. Ryan Howard.
Carolina fan has the boo-hoo. How did he know how to pick sides?
I don't know. Less than 10, Bree Jones gets the touch going at Natasha Howard. Team that actually drafted her. Gets the back door.
Dramatically, and we see another improvement in game 3.
Ryan Howard has been more aggressive on Lexi Hull, so 5th foul rather on Lexi Hull. A quick swing as Ryan Howard was able to. Kelsey Mitchell. Gray pulls up, gets the contact. With Washington, the kickstart the season, they dropped that one. And it was a very close game. It actually came down to see a test. The kick out, Natasha Howard had
Tough break right there for the Dream because they all boxed out, but long shots, long rebounds. Push the ball. Carl Smesko being intentional about have as much of a shot at making the basket, but if you're 5-on-4, 5-on-3, you got
it from the free throw line before their last 3 attempts, and he gets that percent on the night. Kelsey lines it up.
Boston all just frustrated in this game with their shots. Ryan Howard said, I ain't done yet. She remembers that sweep from last season for me.
Oh, you gotta love it. And Ryan Howard coming back, trying to get the foul.
She said she can't guard me. She's talking trash to her own teammate.
Back-to-back 20-point games for Ryan Howard, sitting at 20 to avoid. Natasha Howard back to Seattle and one with Minnesota as well. Throw line can make this a 1-point game in 10 seconds on the shot.
Points on Tuesday as I reached over you and shocked you just a little bit.
It's okay.
I was looking at the box, so she's quadrupled her scoring. Here comes that Georgia Tech math.
There it is. Yellow take the lead with a 3 or tie.
Is a little bit taken back by that shot and not to bait her into it.
Clark is 0 for 4 from outside. 71.
I just want to give a shout out to the Atlanta fans. I know our fans in this building, but just now when she was at the free throw line, I got more boos, and they're all from South Carolina.
We can't win, can we? Met by Clark.
Clark's still 0 for 5 from 3 in this game. Time and score situations and knowing personnel and who has fouls on the floor.
4 players are in double figures for Atlanta.
The 3-point line as well. She's 0 for 3, but
the switch has been flipped. Trying to go in the paint, denied by Nia Coffey. Finds the hands of Natasha Howard if she wanted. Right. 4 on the shot clock. Nia Coffey left alone. High arc to play. Brittany Griner has fouled out for Atlanta. Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hull. Big stop for Atlanta here. Kelsey lines it up.
Puts Indiana up 1.
Her first. Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard has now 4 fouls.
As well. I think the crowd is.
Teams in the bonus as Caitlin Clark misses storylines. Can New York go back-to-back?
Used to seeing on certain teams that have kind of switched.
So a foul, they won it.
Natasha Howard gets her across the arm. And remember.
So Natasha Howard will get her 4th foul. Aaliyah Boston with full defense from Caitlin Clark as Ryan Howard can tie it up.
Intentional getting into the paint.
And not settling on the defensive end. Atlanta needs to stop. Stops on the dime, looking to pull up, finds Aaliyah Boston, who free throw line. Kelsey Mitchell making her. She was disappointed in the.
And said that we're going to have some low points, but they can't be that low. Quicker.
Tahina Powell.
But the Dream definitely need a quick score here.
Gray gets it up top. And Atlanta just letting her go all the way up the floor.
Them tried to, but it just wasn't aggressive enough. And
Atlanta led by 9. Atlanta won the first. The NBA playoffs, and for me to see a couple of crazy things in that next game. Looking for someone on the inbounds, finds Gray. Gray this season, as Atlanta will drop to 1 and 2, and in.
Both coaches cleaned up some things that they wanted to clean up.